What exactly is HYBE planning for Jungkook to make the entire entertainment industry silent? Why did this big news appear so suddenly, as if waiting for the most dramatic moment to electrify the army? And what piqued the most curiosity? What was the reason Taehyung gave a response that left everyone unblinking? The news came as HYBE announced that they had prepared a big plan for Jungkook, something it said would significantly change his career path and global exposure. No details were published, but HYBE's choice of words was enough to make the entire fandom speculate. Is this an international project? A collaboration with a Hollywood big name? Or a big debut that has been kept secret? Everything is still a mystery, and that's what makes the tension even higher. But what makes this news even more dramatic is the presence of one person, Taehyung. During a private event recorded by the staff, when one of the guests mentioned HYBE's big announcement to Jungkook, Taehyung was silent for a moment. No jokes, no casual expressions as usual. Just a hard-to-read look, as if there was something he wanted to say, but couldn't. That moment of silence actually creates a sense of curiosity. Why isn't his reaction normal? A few moments later, Taehyung smiled, a little smile that was so emotional, like someone who had finally accepted reality, or maybe had been waiting for that moment to come for a long time. In a low but clear voice, he said, "If it's true for Jungkook, then he deserves it." Simple sentence, but the impact is tremendous. The room instantly fell silent, and now armies around the world were debating the meaning of the words. Did Taehyung know of HYBE's plans long before the public? Did he feel emotional knowing how big it was for Jungkook? Or is there a deeper connection that makes this news touch him personally? It hasn't stopped there. After the event, Taehyung reportedly asked the staff to send Jungkook a private message. The contents were not revealed, but a person at the location said Taehyung's expression when asked for it was a mixture of pride, emotion, and a little heaviness in the heart. Now the ball is in HYBE and Jungkook's hands, while Taehyung, unwittingly, has added a new emotional layer to this announcement. One thing is certain: the grand plan for Jungkook is real, and Taehyung's response is not just a casual reaction. There was something behind it, something that made ARMY hold its breath and wait for the continuation without daring to take its eyes off. Whisper after whisper continues to roll, and the longer the atmosphere, more thrilling. Every upload, every rumor, every little detail is now being looked at with new glasses. Everything seems to carry clues in the direction of answers that have not yet been revealed. Hours after Taehyung's response video went viral, Jungkook appeared via a short message on the fans' platform. He didn't mention anything about HYBE's announcement, but his one sentence made it all the more suspicious. "I've been thinking about someone lately. I hope he knows." There is no name, no context, but ARMY directly connects the dots. Why did he choose to write it when the issue of big plans was at its peak? And who is the someone he is referring to? Minutes after the message was posted, Taehyung liked a fan post that read, "No matter what happens, we want you to be happy, together or alone." A like that looks ordinary, but when the situation is already heating up, such a small action feels like a subtle confirmation. Is it a coincidence, or a veiled phrase that tries to convey something without actually saying it? HYBE remained silent, and it was her silence that was the biggest fuel for speculation. Some industry analysts believe projects for Jungkook are not just regular releases. There are possibilities of long-term international contract engagements, career focus shifts, or even permanent collaboration projects. Whatever the form, one thing is clear: the change was so big that it touched Jungkook's immediate environment, including Taehyung. Meanwhile, fans who attended one of Taehyung's live shows reported that he seemed more emotional than usual while performing a somber song. On the lyric about letting go to see someone else fly higher, Taehyung lowered his head and let out a long sigh before continuing to sing. ARMY riveted. Was it a coincidence or a message? The hardest part is the moment after the song is over. Taehyung smiled, this time without hiding his teary eyes, and said, "Sometimes, seeing someone achieve their dreams is the greatest happiness, even though we're not always in the same place." Speech is like a storm, silent but devastating. Fans who heard it live described it as a sentence that feels too real to just be an improvisation. And amid all this tense silence, only one thing becomes increasingly clear: It is not only HYBE's grand plan that makes this news electrifying, but also the emotional connection that seems to come into motion behind the scenes. Now all eyes are on two people, Jungkook and Taehyung. Jungkook suddenly shows up at the airport on his way to an undisclosed international date. And what freezes things up is a small detail that's impossible to miss: the bracelet he's wearing. Not a new accessory, not a fashion sponsor, but the exact same bracelet that Taehyung gave me at a special event a few years ago. The sentimental item, which Jungkook hadn't worn in public in a long time, suddenly curled around his wrist right in the middle of HYBE's big plan issue. The camera caught him. The army saw it. The world is roaring again. While the news was circulating, Taehyung updated his social media with a short upload of a photo of the night sky. No captions, just star emojis. A simple symbol, but for those who follow the dynamics of both, it's not just any symbol. Jungkook once said in live that Taehyung was the first to teach me to see the stars, not just the light from the stage. And now, that photo of the night sky appeared at the moment the bracelet was worn? Coincidence? ARMY can hardly believe it. Speculation grew wild when one of the top music journalists announced that he heard that Jungkook's international project will involve an emotional narrative close to his life journey, including the personal relationships that shaped him. Did HYBE design something that let Jungkook show his innermost side, even the part that might involve Taehyung? And as if to add fuel to the fire, a concert staff member unknowingly leaked a short conversation after the rehearsal. When they discussed Jungkook's overseas schedule, Taehyung simply replied gently, "Tell him I'm waiting." It is not known what waiting means. Waiting for news? Waiting to go home? Or wait for something much more meaningful? A response from Jungkook has not yet appeared, but one fact is increasingly felt. Both responded to each other, albeit without direct words. HYBE remains steadfast in the strategy of silence. There are no teasers, no release date, just time is running out, and the closer it gets, the heavier the atmosphere. Fans began to realize that no matter what the big plans were, the impact was not only on Jungkook's career, but also on the emotional connection that had been behind the scenes.